Hello everyone, I am Pooja, a second year BCA Artificial Intelligence student at Ferguson Center for Higher Learning. I am currently doing a Web Development Internship at Oasis Infobyte, where I am gaining a real world experience in front end technologies like HTML and CSS. Oasis Infobyte is a digital platform that provides internships and real time project experience to students and freshers in different domains like web development, machine learning, data science, and more. The goal is to empower students with hands on learning opportunities, and I'm glad to be part of this internship program. As a part of Level 1 Task 3, I was assigned the task to build a temperature converter web application using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The goal of the task was to allow users to enter temperature in one unit, either Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin, and get the converted values in the other two units, an input box for the user to enter the temperature, a drop down to select the input unit, either in Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin, a convert button that triggers the calculation, a result section that displays the output clearly, and a bonus challenge that included a Kelvin as a third conversion option, a visually appealing UI with color styling and responsiveness. In this task, I applied my understanding of form inputs, JavaScript functions, conditional logic, DOM manipulation, and CSS styling techniques, including color palettes and layout design. This project helped me reinforce my skills in handling user input, performing validations, implementing conversion formulas, and displaying the result in a clean and user-friendly manner. Now, let me walk you through the web page section by section. I have structured the page using a HTML file with embedded CSS and JavaScript. The main layout is inside a card-style container for a focused user experience. The heading is styled and centered to clearly show that the tool does. Input section. This is where the user types the temperature value they want to convert. I have added JavaScript validation to make sure it's a number. Unit section. This drop-down lets the user choose if they are entering the value in Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin. Convert button. This button runs a JavaScript function when clicked. It performs the appropriate conversion and updates the result on the page. The result section is kept right below the drop-down inside the same card. It displays the converted temperature values based on the user's input. If the input is invalid, it shows a warning message. I have applied a dark background theme to give a modern look. Use subtle accent colors like teal and cyan for highlights, and style the result box to stand out separately with shadows and colored borders. At the top, I have declared the document type as HTML and set the language to English. Inside the head tag, I have added the title of the page as temperature converter and included meta tags to make the page responsive and support to UTF-8 characters. Instead of linking external style sheets, I have used internal CSS with a style tag. This makes the project compact and beginner friendly. This is the main card container for the whole converter. I've given it a dark background padding, rounded corners, and a top border highlight to make it visually stand out. This heading tells the user what the tool does. It's centered and styled to be clear and visible over the dark background. This section includes a label and a text input box. The user can enter any temperature here. I've validated the input using JavaScript to make sure it's a number. This drop-down lets the user select the type of input temperature, Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin. Based on this choice, the JavaScript function will convert the value into the other two units. This is a separate result section placed just below the unit type. It's hidden by default and appears only when the convert button is clicked. It displays the converted values in a clean box with different text color for clarity. If the input is invalid, This same section will show an error message in red. This button triggers the conversion process when clicked. It runs a JavaScript function called convertTemp, which performs the logic based on the selected unit. This function handles the conversion logic. First, it checks if the input is valid based on the selected unit. It performs the appropriate conversions. The results are formatted to 2 decimal places and displayed inside the result section. If the user enters anything that's not a number, an error message is shown. I've chosen a dark themed color palette for a modern look. The result section is separately highlighted, and I've also added hover effects to the button. Inputs and drop-downs are styled to blend well with the background. So this was a complete walkthrough of my temperature converter project. It uses HTML for structure, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for interactivity. I've kept the layout clean, responsive, and user-friendly with proper validation and a modern dark theme design. Thank you.